Today, we're diving into the official numbers to really understand the Isle of Man. We're going to use the government's own data from Isle of Man and Numbers 2025 to piece together what life is truly like on this incredible island. Because, beyond the famous TT races and the beautiful scenery, there's a whole other story told in the data. What is daily life actually like for the people who call this place home? Well, today, we're going to let the numbers do the talking. All right, first up, the population. As of 2024, it's just over 84,500 people. To put that in perspective, think of a large town. It's small enough to have a real sense of community, but it's also big enough to forge its own powerful identity. Now hold that small population in your head and look at this number. The island's gross domestic product, that's the total value of everything it makes and does, is a massive 5.81 billion pounds. That is some serious economic muscle for a community this size. It really punches above its weight. So where is all that value coming from? And if you want a tangible feel for what that prosperity means on the ground, just look at the average house price. As of March 2025, you're looking at over £384,000. Wow. That single number is a huge indicator of the island's wealth. And yeah, the high cost of putting down roots here. So let's pop the hood on this economic engine, shall we? We've seen that huge GDP number. Now let's break down exactly where that power is being generated. Yeah, so if you're picturing an economy based on old stereotypes like fishing or farming, you gotta update that image. The modern Manx economy is crystal clear from this chart. Look at the two biggest slices. Professional and medical services, combined with finance and business, account for a whopping 43% of all jobs. This isn't just a tourist island, it's a highly skilled, service-based powerhouse. And this chart is fascinating because it perfectly shows the impact of those high-skilled sectors. The median weekly earning, that's the person right in the middle of the pack, is £765, but the average gets pulled all the way up to £929. That gap tells a story. There's a significant number of high earners, almost definitely in finance, who are lifting the overall average way up. And with a powerful economy comes a pretty incredible job market. The registered unemployment rate is just 0.7%. That is unbelievably low. It paints a picture of an island where opportunities are absolutely plentiful if you want to work. So we've seen this powerhouse economy, but who are the 84,000 people actually driving it? Let's shift gears and take a look at the demographic snapshot of the people of Man. It's a really fundamental question, right? Is this a community of families who've been here for generations, or is immigration a bigger part of the story? Well, the data gives us a pretty surprising answer. Get this, just under half the population was actually born on the island. A huge 38% were born in the UK, with another 10% coming from the rest of the world. This shows an island that isn't just Manx by birth, but a real magnet for people, especially from its closest neighbor. But this is where the story takes a really critical turn. This data reveals a major demographic challenge. In 2024, there were significantly more deaths on the island than there were births. It's a trend that's sometimes called negative natural change, and it has some profound consequences. And the consequence of that is crystal clear. Without all the people moving to the island that we just saw, the population would actually be shrinking. This makes attracting new residents not just an option, but an absolute necessity for the island's future. So we have this strong economy and a diverse yet aging population. But what is life really like day to day? Let's look at the final piece of the puzzle, the data on safety and health. Let's talk about safety. In 2024, there were fewer than 2,500 recorded criminal offenses in total. For a population of over 84,000, that is a remarkably low figure. It really suggests a very safe and secure community. And to make that feel even more real, let's just look at burglaries. There were only 68 recorded in the entire year. And of those, the police detected and solved nearly half. That points to both incredibly low crime rates and pretty effective policing. Perhaps one of the strongest signs of overall well-being is life expectancy. On the Isle of Man, men can expect to live to nearly 80 and women to over 84. These are powerful figures that really speak to a high quality of healthcare and lifestyle. And when you compare the island's health to England's, you see a mixed but generally positive picture. The island has a lower smoking rate, which is a huge public health win. On the other hand, it faces a very similar challenge with weight, as obesity levels are almost identical to its neighbors. Okay, so after looking at the economy, the people, and the quality of life, what does this all mean for the Manx future? Let's pull it all together and see what key trends are shaping the island's path. When you boil it all down, it comes to this. The Isle of Man has built a super dynamic, finance-driven economy that offers incredible job security and supports a safe, high-quality community. But running just beneath the surface is this demographic pressure cooker, an aging population that depends on a steady stream of new arrivals to keep the island thriving. And this leaves us with a final crucial question. The Isle of Man is a story of incredible success, but its future really hinges on a delicate balance. How does a nation preserve its unique Manx culture while also attracting the very people it needs to power its future? That is the challenge and the opportunity for the next generation.